Hello, welcome back to another video. Today's video, I wanted to do another one of the random, like picking a recipe completely at random and cooking it almost no matter what it is. I don't really have like a succinct title to whatever this series is, but I had a lot of fun making the bundt cakes last time, so I wanted to try it again and see what we get and cook basically whatever it is. Like I had said in the last video as well, there's a few exceptions to the I'm cooking anything rule. One, if I happen on a recipe that I have already cooked, I'm not gonna cook it again. I've already cooked it. That takes all the fun out of it being a new recipe. Two, I will do beverages as well. I'm totally fine if I come across a hot cocoa recipe or a coffee recipe or something. I will make it unless it is alcoholic. Then I am mixing it because I do not drink alcohol, so I'm not going to make it and waste my money on something I am not going to eat or drink. I think that is it. I think
no tuna!
if it lands on tuna, I'm still making tuna.
Thank you!
No, I said I'm still making tuna if it lands on it.
Oh, fine.
I think the only other exception would be if it goes onto a recipe that calls for some really specific cooking tool that I do not have and that is very expensive. Depending on what the item is, there is a very good chance I'm not going to buy that expensive tool for this one recipe. So the way that these videos work is, as you can see on the screen, I'm going to scoot over a little bit so it should hopefully fit on the screen right here. I have this cookbook wheel that I have created of all of the different kinds of cookbooks that I have. And I don't know if it's actually showing or not, but on the very top shelf above where that light is, all of those are my cookbooks. I'll put in a quick little pan of all of them, and I think there's actually a couple that are like throughout the house because I am actively using them. So I'm going to spin this wheel to pick what cookbook we are going to use, and then from there, I'm going to pick a random page out of the cookbook by going into like a number randomizer. And whatever page number that lands on, that is the recipe we are making. If there are multiple recipes on that page, I will do a second number randomizer of like 1 and 2, 1 through 3 or whatever, to pick which one of those recipes we are doing. So let me go ahead, hit spin on this to find out which cookbook we are cooking out of. I love the noise. Oh, okay, we're doing another dessert, it looks like. And we're making some Paleo sweets. All right, interesting. So let me go get that cookbook. I have not cooked anything out of that cookbook before. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. So here, this is what it looks like. Here is the Paleo sweets. This is what the back looks like. All right, so it starts on page 11 and it goes all the way to 173. Okay, I'm gonna hit done, and then I can generate a random number, and that is going to be 98. So let's look up page 98. All right, so 98. All right, well, 98 falls on this picture, which is a picture of the recipe on page 99. So we're counting that. And that is a banoffee pie. So it's like a banana toffee pie. Interesting. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I will go get all of the ingredients and cut to when I am in the kitchen getting ready to make this. All right, we are in the kitchen now. I have all the ingredients that I need, and I have discovered that people on paleo diets, that's expensive. I had to buy almost every single ingredient that this recipe called for. A lot of times, like, I have a lot of different baking ingredients, and this recipe called for a lot of them that I did not own, nor do I normally buy. But I got everything that I needed for this recipe except for one item. There was only one item for this entire recipe that I needed that I could not find, and that is palm shortening. I don't know if it's just like that specialty of an item that nowhere around me sells it, but for the life of me, I couldn't find it, so I'm just using vegetable shortening. You can yell at me or hate me in the comments if you want. I'm doing what I can here. So, I have everything that I need to make this banoffee pie. They could have done better with the name. And I was looking at the recipe and realized the first ingredient is pre-made pie crust. See page, whatever the page for making a pie crust was on. So we're technically making 2 of the recipes out of this cookbook today because I need to make a pie crust first. So that is what we are doing. On the screen, you can see the page for the pie crust. I'm going to be working on making this first, and this is all the ingredients that I am using for the pie crust. We're gonna go ahead and get into making that, get that setting in the fridge, get it rolled out, get it baking, and then we can actually get to making the pie itself. The consistency of the almond flour is significantly different than the consistency of the coconut flour or the arrowroot starch, which is also called arrowroot flour. That took a while for me to find. Oh, this is like a consistency I'm not used to. Can you see that? Look at that. That's like, it's a very interesting consistency of flour mixture. Ooh, it actually smells pretty good. The coconut comes through a lot, which I'm hoping the flavor doesn't come through that much because I don't really like the flavor of coconut. Coconut flour and salt. Okay, oops, forgot the salt. Okay, it says a 1/4 teaspoon. Measure, 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 that's good. So when a recipe says to cut in something, so in this case I'm cutting in this shortening, this is the tool that you use. This is a pastry blender. You can get them basically anywhere, and what you do is you take this and you cut whatever it is just over and over again. I don't know if you can see that at all. You can kind of see it. Into the flour mixture, whatever you're doing. And eventually, also I'm probably doing this incorrectly, but that is okay. And eventually you'll get it to be just like a whole bunch of crumbs. Like a really crumbly texture is what you were looking for. Basically until it looks like that. Just very, very crumb looking. All right, now I'm gonna set that aside for just a second. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of water to a bowl and an egg white. I'm gonna go like that. Just gonna jiggle that back and forth. So we just have the white, not the yolk. Take the whisk from earlier. I watched a video somewhere that said that like the proper way to use a whisk is to go back and forth like this instead of in like a circle, because it's like a constant like friction or something. I don't know what it's called. Take this mixture. I'm recording, right? Yeah, okay. Take this mixture, add it into our dough. We're gonna take our spoon and mix it all together. And it's, yeah, look at that, it's forming a nice dough. Okay, so then you want to form it into a ball, basically just like this, so it can chill. I'm making it more of a disc than like a sphere because I want it to thaw and like come back to room temperature pretty quickly. It's gonna take a little bit of plastic wrap. We're just gonna wrap this up, and then we're gonna take this, put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes, and I will check back in with you guys after it has cooled and come back out to set at room temperature, and then we will roll it out and get it baking. Hi. Angle the camera like this while I talk. It has been about 40 minutes. It's been closer to an hour actually at this point. I got a bit lazy. This has cooled. It has set out at room temperature. So now I'm going to roll it out, put it in the pie pan, and get to baking it. Okay. this consistency is very different from the consistency of dough I am used to making. So let me try to get some more freezer paper. Okay, and go like that. Okay, let's see if I can make this happen. Is that gonna work? Is that going to work? I don't think that's going to work. Oh no, oh no, abort, abort, abort. I made a mistake. Come off, come off, come off, come off. No, no, abort, abort, abort. Oh, that's not it. Oh dear, oh, okay, well, we're gonna play, make a pie crust with our fingers. The fun little game I like to play when putting a pie crust together like a normal human being just doesn't cut it. Okay, I think that is about as good as I'm getting this pie crust. So let's hope that it works out okay. Yes, stabby, stabby. All right, let's hope this turns out good. All right, that actually turned out pretty nice. Now we'll let that cool, set aside, and continue on with the pie. Now that the pie crust is done and taken care of, it is time to actually start making this banoffee pie, banoffee, banana toffee pie. So this pie is, according to this recipe, there are 3 different steps. It is making the whipped cream, making the toffee filling, and then assembling the pie itself. So we're going to start with the whipped cream because after I mix all that together, it needs to chill for about 30 minutes. Here are the ingredients plus water that we're using to make the whipped cream. Okay, so I have a 1/4 cup of water in here. I need to put in, what does it say? 2 teaspoons of gelatin, and I need to let the gelatin hydrate. I don't think I've ever used gelatin before, so I don't know what that means. There's 2 teaspoons, yeah? Okay. Okay, there's like a minuscule amount left in there. I'm adding it. Does hydrate just mean that it absorbs all the water? Is that what that means? I'm assuming that's what that means. Also, my dog is panting up a storm because it is hot out and he was just running around outside, so please ignore the extreme panting that is happening over there. He's fine. Okay, and then I'm gonna need another 1/4 cup of boiling water. Got my very hot boiling water. That looks pretty hydrated. So I'm gonna pour that in. Okay, so then I add the coconut cream, honey, and vanilla. Okay, so there is my coconut cream. Put this in. And how much vanilla? A teaspoon. Just a singular, lonely little teaspoon. Better than being a half teaspoon, am I right? That made no sense. To whip ingredients together. All right. Okay. I've made whipped cream from scratch before, and it definitely does more than this. I think it's because this isn't normal whipped cream. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cover this and put it in the fridge, although it is still very liquidy. And hope that it's the gelatin that makes it set, because again, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to gelatin. That's liquid still, so it's just gonna, and rogue honey, it's fine. I'm gonna put that in the fridge and hopefully it'll set in the 30 minutes it needs to. Here are all of the ingredients for the toffee. All right, now you're joining me at the stove because we have to make some toffee. I am going to get started. First, I need a cup of ghee, which ghee is like, it says clarified butter. I have never used ghee in my life. I only recently heard that it was a thing. So I'm gonna get a cup of ghee, whatever that means. Oh. Is it just like permanently melted butter? That is not the consistency I thought it was gonna be at all. Heat ghee until melted is the first ingredient. I think it's pretty melted already. Yeah, I don't think it needs to melt very much more. While it's warming up, what else can I get ready? I need a cup of coconut sugar, which I can use this for. It smells almost like burnt sugar. Interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but does that look like a bunch of Baymax faces? I think I understand what they mean by melting it now. Yeah, now it's like actually like melted. Wow, that's actually really cool. Okay. I'm just gonna add everything else then. So I'm gonna go ahead and, yes, 2 tablespoons coconut oil, coconut cream. Oh, that is exactly what was left in this jar, or this can. That is awesome. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. Okay, so that's pretty good. So that just needs to thicken now for about 5 minutes. So it's gonna stay on the heat and just thicken for about 5 minutes, and I need to stir it really, really often. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that and jump back when that is done. Ooh, this went from like 0 to 100 in a matter of seconds. It was like all liquidy and didn't look like it was doing anything, and then all of a sudden, bam! Wow. Okay, so that's been 5 minutes. I've been stirring essentially the entire time. So now I think that just needs to cool. Yeah, set toffee aside to cool. So I'm gonna leave that now to cool. And yeah, wow, that changed significantly more than I thought it was going to. Okay, we are finally to the assembly stage, and I'm a little bit nervous. So the pie crust has totally cooled. That is cooled off. The toffee bit is still like really quite hot. And there's like a thin layer of just straight oil sitting on top of what I'm assuming is like the actual toffee substance. And I don't want all that oil getting all over the pan, the pie. So I think I need to try to like pour that out first, although the recipe does not mention it at all. So I don't know if that oil was supposed to like incorporate and just didn't, or what. But it's just, I don't know what to do about it. So I'm gonna try just like pouring that off and hoping it works, because I don't want to take a bite of pie and it just be like straight oil. That sounds awful. So what I need to do now is pour about half of this toffee into this pie crust, top it with a bunch of bananas, and pour the remaining toffee on top of that, smoothing it so it's all nice and smooth. I'm not gonna have to worry about that because this is very runny still. And then I'm going to put this pie in the fridge and leave it there for an hour so that the toffee can totally cool. And then once it is finally like completely set, I can take our whipped cream that we made, put it on top, add bananas on top, a little bit of shaved chocolate, and we can finally try this pie. It's a lot of just oil sitting at the top that I really don't want in my pie. About half of this. All right, now I'm going to take this, put it in the fridge for an hour, and I will see you when it's cooled. And hopefully set, and hopefully not oily. Alright, it is like 2 hours later, almost 3 hours later. The pie is totally set. Not gonna lie, doesn't look very good. This is what we're working with. This is what we're working with currently. All of the miscolored spots like here, that's banana obviously, but like the toffee itself, like it doesn't look good. Here's hoping that the whipped cream is set, and put the extra bananas on top, a little bit of chocolate, and let's hope it at least tastes good, because it currently is not the prettiest. Let's see what this looks like. This is the consistency we're working with. Oh, you can't see that at all. Yeah, this is the consistency we're working with here. Bubbly, I mean, it's holding. That liquid there is just from the honey that was left. Oh, what is that? Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
All bets are off. It's paleo.
That's very true. Oh, this is the most unpleasant whipped cream I have ever seen in my life.
How graceful.
I hate this. I hate this. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you know what? There you go. This is disgusting.
We haven't tasted it yet.
I don't want it tasted anymore. Okay, I'm just chopping this up so it just... I hate the fact that I have to say I'm chopping up the whipped cream. Guess what? That gets to be good. That looks so bad. Alright, I'm not gonna cut up that last banana. We're gonna just top with the banana pieces we have left. And we'll just kind of top this area here because these are where we're gonna be cutting. And then we can top it with a little bit of chocolate. We don't have like an actual, like a small little dice, like a shaver thing, but I have this zester. I thought maybe that'll work, so we'll try it. You like that?
Yeah, it's doing what it's supposed to do, I think.
Yep, so there's our close-up there. That is... Slice it. We'll put these on plates. Okay, so I'm going to stand here if you want to get a nice close-up. So I'm going to start, I think, right here. That's not to the center at all.
Nope.
It's very hard to tell if I'm actually like at the bottom or not. Okay, well that lifted significantly easier than I thought it would.
Okay, well that's
I'm gonna get a cross-section look. That one over there. And then...
Sorry, the OCD in my is it's going berserk right now.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's so bad. Okay.
Let's see pie from that angle. Oh, I gotta
Shush. Okay. Does not look good at all. Makes me really glad I didn't try making this for Wednesday for church.
Yeah. Oh, Lambeau, don't do that.
Hold on. I thought I... Okay. Now or never.
There we go.
And that is where my camera decided to cut out. So, before I say anything else, let's just zoom in on those faces, because that pretty well describes this dessert. Yeah, I'm sitting here editing this footage, and my camera corrupted the actual, like, taste test of this pie, which sucks. So, it was horrible. It was actually disgusting. The only redeemable part about this dessert was the pie crust. I think if you are looking for a good paleo-friendly pie crust, I would definitely give this pie crust recipe a go because it was actually pretty good. I would not by any means recommend this pie filling recipe to my worst enemies. Like, it was not good at all. The texture was horrid. The flavors were not there. It did not taste good. Like, there was, the filling itself, there was no redeemable qualities. Like, Dan and I, after like that one bite that we took, we put the other two pieces back in with the pie and we threw the whole thing away. It was disgusting. I cannot describe how bad it was. And I'm very frustrated that my camera decided to not save the footage of our actual genuine reactions. It was that bad. This was 100% a recipe fail. So I'm trying to think of if there was anything else we mentioned during the taste test that I want to make sure I say. And I mean, yeah, the texture and flavors were not there. The pie crust was pretty good, actually. If you're watching this and you cook paleo and you know of something that we did wrong, or you see something and you're like, oh, hey, like the recipe itself might not have said this, but this is basically what you have to do with these like specific ingredients, let me know, because if I could actually learn how to cook with these ingredients well, like I would really like to do that. I don't want to just say one and done to like paleo desserts altogether because this one experience was bad. Like if I could make some pretty good desserts and learn how to cook with them properly, I would really like to. Or if you're like, if you know paleo desserts well and you're looking at this and you're like, yeah, no, that was doomed to fail from the get-go. That is not how those things should have been cooked. Or like that recipe was just a bad recipe. Also let me know so I don't feel so bad about completely botching this. But thank you for watching all the way until the end. I'm sorry I don't have like a full taste test for you. I didn't know that the footage cut out until I was sitting down editing it right now, which is very frustrating. I will in a couple weeks have another one of these random recipe videos coming out, and I can happily say that one was far more of a success. So make sure you are staying tuned for that. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. I upload every single week with vlogs and every other week-ish with Wednesday videos like this one where we try doing different things. I hope you guys have had a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!